Today, we honor the strength and unity of a nation embodied by the Spanish Armed Forces Unidad Militar de Emergencias, the UME.
Hoy rendimos homenaje a la fuerza de una nación representada por la Unidad Militar de Emergencias de las Fuerzas Armadas Españolas, la UME.
From wildfires in Galicia to floods in Valencia, from earthquakes to storms, and even during the COVID-19 pandemic, the UME has stood ready, selfless, and strong.
Desde los incendios en Galicia hasta las inundaciones en Valencia, en los terremotos y en las tormentas, y también durante la pandemia, la UME ha estado siempre lista, valiente y solidaria.
They are the ones who answer the call when Spain needs them the most. A symbol of courage, compassion, and national pride.
Son quienes responden cuando España más los necesita. Un símbolo de valentía, compasión y orgullo nacional.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in thanking the Unidad Militar de Emergencias and the Spanish Ministry of Defense for their service, their sacrifice, and their devotion to Spain.
Señoras y señores, por favor, únanse a nosotros para agradecer a la Unidad Militar de Emergencias y al Ministerio de Defensa de España por su servicio, su sacrificio y su devoción por el país.
Gracias, UME. You are the heroes among us.
Gracias, UME. Sois nuestros héroes.
And now, to perform the national anthem of Spain, please welcome the Madrid Marine Infantry Group.
Para interpretar el himno nacional de España, damos la bienvenida a la Agrupación de Infantería de Marina de Madrid.
The national anthems of the United States and Spain here in Madrid as we head down to the field and welcome in Jamie Erdahl. Jamie.
Kenny, today we stand on hallowed football grounds as Bernabeu Stadium has been the home to Real Madrid since 1947. This building has hosted a World Cup final, UEFA Champions League finals, which puts it into an elite stadium category. But in order to maintain that definition, it's had 3 different renovations in its 80 years of existence, the most recent being in 2024. Now this hallowed football ground beneath me can actually move. This grass pitch is retractable. An automated system has been put in place where Real Madrid can move this entire field underground. The grass is maintained in an artificial greenhouse. There's ventilation, there's irrigation. The care is meticulous. However, the pitch size did not exactly line up with the NFL field size. So the league had to come in and remove some first rows here, add cement, add grass, about 1.5 yards on each end zone. So now, Kenny and Jonathan, this feels like a home NFL field.
It certainly does. Thanks, Jamie. Real Madrid's home stadium since 1947. And for the first time today, NFL football. Dan Quinn took the Commanders to the NFC Championship game a season ago. Mike McDaniel across the way. Both teams come in at 3-7. Commanders won the toss. They defer. Matt Gay will get things started. Tua Tagovailoa leads the Dolphins offense onto the field.
And what a job he did last week versus the Buffalo Bills. You know, they have no Tyreek Hill out for the year, but this connection with him and Jalen Waddle really shined against the Bills last week. They got the victory. Like to see them do more of that. I call these like impact pass plays because Mike McDaniel, he likes to have the ball outside, quick throws, but when he wants to strike, him and Tua Tagovailoa, they're on the same page. Get the ball to Jalen Waddle. Make sure that you get these chunk yards in those passing plays. Allow for this offense to really continue to move the chains.
Welcome back to Madrid, the capital city, located in the center of Spain. Second largest city of the European Union, second to Berlin, Germany. It's time for Get More, presented by Geico.
Marcus Mariota had a nice day against the Lions last week. Able to put some touch on the football, getting the ball down the field, but the run game was also there for him. I mean, you like the way that him as a backup, he comes in just as effective as Jaden Daniels. You see his 133.3 passer rating last week. I really enjoyed talking with him because he understands the offense. He really enjoys working with Cliff Kingsbury, offensive coordinator. And they did a nice job against a very good Lions defense last week.
Keep the NFL in reach all season long with NFL Plus Premium. Get live, local, and primetime games on mobile, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, and more. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com/network. Terms and conditions apply.
Devon Achane, we talked about what he did last week, and it's really the versatility. You see him in the running game. He likes to run between the tackles super fast, though, so you think that he wants to bounce all the time. Instead, he can get outside in the passing game, and then they like to use him in the screen game as well. They have these called burst motions. He's over there, so as a linebacker, Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, they really have to keep their eyes on him, and it's going to really mess with them in their assignments.
The 8-yard line by Jordan McGee. Last week against Buffalo, our next-gen stats powered by AWS forced 11 missed tackles, 100 rush yards after those missed tackles.
It's a combination of his speed, his contact balance, and how strong he is. As I said, he's not a big back, but he uses that speed to bounce off the tackles. It really surprises defenders once he gets going.
Moments ago, Jamie chatted with Commanders head coach Dan Quinn.
Coach, I know we're only one free man, but defensively, how can your guys click into making a couple more stops?
Yeah, that's the big deal. And I think on the edges, on the perimeter, you know, that's the one where you can't get the extended runs on that way. So we'll go keep taking our shot, be edge setting, and that's what we need to do here in the second quarter.
Offensively, you were efficient getting down to the red zone. What stalled you?
Yeah, just the penalty at the end, honestly. So let's make sure we stay disciplined in that red zone. We're going to be bold. We converted on the fourth earlier. So, like, we're going to stay in that bold way. We know we're going to need touchdowns, not field goals in this game.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Jamie.
Turn. Bernabeu Stadium, the home of Real Madrid since 1947. Hosted the 1982 World Cup final, won by Italy, 3-1 over West Germany. $1.3 billion renovation completed in 2024.
It shows the stadium is gorgeous inside and out. And then, as I mentioned, the league championships, and we tried to compare it to an NFL team. 15-time league champions.
15 Champions League trophies. This is the trophy room.
Look at that.
They've won a record 36 La Liga titles here in Spain.
Yeah, the only thing we could equate it to were the Yankees, right? Because we have so much parity in the NFL. We just didn't have a team go on a run the way they've had and be so consistent.
Or maybe if you combine the Yankees, the Patriots, and the Montreal Canadiens all into one.
Yeah,
and the Celtics.
You're not stretching it, right? That's about right.
20.
That's how good they've been.
You mentioned Krosky Merritt, who's had a good rookie season. Jeremy McNichols. Well, when we spoke to Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn during the week, you know, as far as the running back position, it's whoever has the hot hand, and it's been Rodriguez here today.
It really has. He's been doing a nice job, and now he's going to get a little bit of a breather because they're putting in Deebo Samuel at that running back position right now.
It's time for Defensive Spotlight, presented by defender, and I turn it over to my middle linebacker.
I love watching these two linebackers, Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks, the way that they've been tackling machines all season long. And Jordan Brooks, he was so effusive of his praise for Bobby Wagner and how he helped him the first 4 years at Seattle, called him a big brother, said it was a blessing to be around Bobby Wagner, to understand what it is to be a linebacker, what it is to carry yourself and be a captain. You see how well he's playing for the Dolphins.
3. On Thursday here in Madrid, both the Commanders and Dolphins hosted youth football clinics, along with former Commanders Santana Moss and London Fletcher on hand. They taught American football fundamentals to 180 youth athletes. The teams are also involved in flag football clinics throughout the week here in Madrid as well.
How much fun the kids were having. You can tell that they're just really enjoying it. I don't know if they really know all the intricacies yet.
We've hit the 2-minute warning from Madrid, Spain, with the Dolphins leading by 3 and the Commanders striving. Coming up at the half, the Lexus halftime show, first half recap, and a preview of the Lions and the Eagles getting together much later today. We saw the Lions last week, their win over the Commanders. A look at the Spanish women's flag football national team on hand today. Ties the game at 6. Appropriate. In Real Madrid's home stadium, we've seen 4 field goals, and that has been it. Dolphins, Commanders, 6-6 at the half in Madrid. Game flow presented by Progressive Insurance from Madrid, Spain. We welcome you back to the NFL Madrid game presented by NetApp. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Jamie Erdahl. Tied at 6 as we begin the second half.
All 6 drives ended with kicks. We saw both offenses able to move the ball up and down the field, kind of stalled in the red zone. I mean, fitting that you would have all 6 drives end with kicks in Real Madrid.
4 successful field goals, 1 missed field goal, 1 punt. And now the kickoff is taken by Edmonds. And he is tripped up just shy of the 40. Moments ago, Jamie chatted with Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel.
Been under pressure. How can you open things up downfield to get your offense going?
Well, I think it starts with the run game and play action pass. You earn with the run game. We got to do better on third downs. We have to turn drives into actual touchdowns, not field goals. And we need to get quicker stops on defense. We've done a good job keeping it out of the end zone, but that's a major focus.
Marcus Mariota has been able to make some things happen with your feet, with his feet. How do you contain him in a box?
Well, I think it starts with complementary pass rush. You got to stay in your lanes, and then we have to stay connected when he does break the pocket on longer pass plays and not get penalties.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Second out. Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur also on that staff. Now here's Dan Quinn when he was with the Dolphins working under Nick Saban 2005-06. McDaniel worked in Washington under Mike Shanahan and with Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur.
Yep. And
so they each worked for the opposite franchise. And then together in Atlanta, now coaching against each other today.
Right, and Mike McDaniel thought he was going to get fired that day, right? When it was brought to Dan Quinn's attention that he had a drinking problem. Instead, Dan Quinn
Next Sunday, NFL Game Day morning returns. The crew is back in studio to get you ready for every Week 12 matchup with in-depth analysis, bold predictions, and more. NFL Game Day morning returns next Sunday at 9 on NFL Network. Back in Madrid with the Commanders leading the Dolphins 13-6. Break. He and Tua very close as Marcus now makes his return. They attended the same high school. They met when Tua was still in
middle school.
Elementary, then middle school.
Yeah.
There were camps. Their coach called them get better camps, and Mariota said, we noticed this young lefty, the kids couldn't catch his balls. So Mariota said, why don't you come up and play with us, with the big kids.
And he said he was throwing it on the money. They just couldn't catch the football, so he brings them up. He starts throwing with the high school kids. Him and Marcus Mariota are throwing together, and then all of a sudden, that's where Tua had developed that relationship with them.
That's Marcus's brother on the left, Tua on the right.
And then Marcus is right there. So it was interesting because Tua said that I was a big fan of Marcus Mariota from when he brought me up. And then he becomes this phenom at Oregon, wins the Heisman. And he said, then I become a fan of his as a player, right? So he just really enjoyed who he was as a person, now as a player. And they've continued this friendship for years.
Here's Gordon. And, you know, Tua told us, he texts me a lot after my games. I've looked up to Marcus since I was young. He always tells me how proud of me he is. And along with Dylan Gabriel of the Browns, 3 starting quarterbacks from Hawaii. And both Mariota and Tagovailoa told us just how proud they both feel. Starting against each other for the first time. Mariota last started against the Dolphins in 2018 before Tua was in the league. 20, Jamie.
Kenny, we were also curious about just these products at quarterback from the state of Hawaii. I asked Marcus, what do you think that is? He said, well, in the Poly-Hawaiian culture, respect is at the very top. We will do anything a coach tells us to do. And by the way, Marcus out of the blue tent, throwing and warming back up.
Welcome back to Madrid, Spain. Many of us in our crew had the opportunity to visit some of the sites, the Royal Palace, Retiro Park, some of the terrific museums here in Madrid, and we also took advantage of many local delicacies, including paella. We had dinner right here at the stadium on Friday night with the view of the field.
Yeah, that was awesome. Food was great. Our producer ordered way too much food, and I had to help him out.
At least he paid.
That's the least he could do. Area.
Commissioner Roger Goodell on hand here in Madrid. It's the 7th and final international game of the regular season, and we've been overseas twice this year. We worked the game in London earlier this season, now here in Madrid, and you can just feel the excitement everywhere you go in the city in the days leading up to the games.
Yeah, I would say it's been a success. This one, we called one in London as well, Tottenham Stadium. It has been, we're right now just looking at a sold-out stadium, right? Sold-out crowd.
Over 80,000.
Yes, and then what about all the fanfare outside? You know, all the fans that were going into the hotels. We saw just a bunch of commotion, the energy, right, that it brought to the city of Madrid. It's phenomenal. So, sure, we're going to be doing more games here. And I know we have Melbourne, Australia to start next year. I mean, it's going to be a nice series of international games in 2026.
Barrett tripped up by Jason Marshall. So this season alone, first game in Dublin, won by Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers over the Vikings. Last week in Berlin, they went to overtime. Colts over the Falcons. And the first ever NFL game in Spain here today in the country's capital city.
And I'll say this, the games were actually really good games. The one we called, it came down to the wire, and Minnesota pulled out that victory. I mean, right now we're in a tie game in the 4th quarter.
There's Samuel, cut down on 2nd and 6 by Jack Jones. Former all-time great linebacker London Fletcher chatted with the commissioner prior to the game, now handles the color analysis on the radio broadcasts for the Commanders.
Man, I used to watch London Fletcher when I was playing, and I couldn't wait until the offseason. I'd watch him, I'd watch Ray Lewis, Zach Thomas, right? They were the top 3 linebackers back then. I'd watch them, try to study their tape, see what they did so well. London Fletcher, man, he was an awesome linebacker.
It's time for Eat and Play, presented by Dave & Buster's.
Taking a look at Marcus Mariota, the way he's been playing today, he's definitely been eating. He's made the throws to the outside, the in-breaking routes, and when they needed him the most, comes back, rushes for a huge 43-yard gain, setting up this Commanders offense. Deebo Samuel right there as well, and you just really like the way that this offense has been playing. Marcus Mariota has been the leader of the offense, and it doesn't get much better than that. Your best player, Jaden Daniels, he goes down. In comes Marcus Mariota, continuing to lead this offense and being very productive.
Andrew Achane. Next Gen Stats powered by AWS. Talked about the rush yards after missed tackle by Achane last week, 29 more today.
And to look at Achane, the difference between a lot of those running backs and him, he's a little smaller than them, right? But again, he's very, very built. He's very low, built well, compact, good balance.
Here in Madrid with the Commanders and the Dolphins tied at 13. The turnover committed a moment ago on the attempted punt return by Sainristil, putting the Dolphins in excellent position.
Yeah, and then again, Sainristil, his first time in that position in a foreign environment. I mean, you know, it's tough for them. Right now, he has the opportunity to figure out how he's going to stop this Dolphins defense. It's second and medium. If they can hold him here, kick the field goal, give their offense some time on the clock to go down and try to match that field goal.
Commanders stopping the Dolphins twice. Dolphins stop the Commanders once. Over 78,000 in attendance at Bernabeu. And they will be treated to overtime. 15 yards and a touchdown. Also had that big 43-yard run. Managing partner Josh Harris, wife Marjorie, also owns the Philadelphia 76ers, New Jersey Devils. Big plans for a new stadium in our nation's capital on the site of the old RFK Stadium.
Right, and he was a huge fan of the franchise growing up. We had spoken about that. We spoke about the times, the good times at RFK Stadium, and how the team really galvanized that whole area, the whole DMV area, to be a Commanders fan now.
Through. The Miami Dolphins win it in Madrid in overtime. Second straight win for the Dolphins, 6th consecutive defeat for the Commanders. For Jonathan Vilma and Jamie Erdahl, along with our entire crew, I'm Kenny Albert. Coming up next, the Mercedes-Benz postgame.